because we got a lot of information to go through. I know she don't want the camera on and stuff like that, but I got to do it to her today. So the live stream on Facebook and also the stream on my website, www.dreyshouse.org, is going to be directly on Emlyn because she got a lot of information to put out. Everybody knows what I look like. And you would prefer to watch Emlyn anyway.
I don't know about that.
You know, you would.
With your Batman shirt today.
That's why the camera's on you. It's a method to the madness.
All right.
All right, cool. So industry news. Emlyn wanted to do this because there's so much information that needs to be put out for so many filmmakers. Anybody's in the entertainment business. So what we're going to start with?
So I wanted to talk about a lot of things actually tonight, but last month I went through pretty quickly. So I wanted to start today by talking about angel investors. What they are. Yeah, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Anything that has to do with money. People are like, yeah, I want to know about that.
Oh, you know, I was listening.
I think there's a lot of misconceptions about angel investors and who they are and what they do and how you get them. And so I just wanted to share some information about that.
Please, because I got questions.
Oh, you do? You have questions?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So and I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain this. So an angel investor basically is a private investor, also known as a seed investor, an angel funder, usually someone who has a lot of wealth. And normally people think that angel investors just give money away for free, but actually most angel investors take equity from your company or your project. And that's how they make their money back. So the idea that angel investors give you money and they don't care if they get it back is not necessarily true. The fact that most angel investors invest about 10% of their portfolio is important because then you know how much to ask for. If you do your homework, do your research, you can see how much money someone has, what their net worth is, and you can figure out what they can afford to give you so that you're not over asking. And just some general questions that I know that I've invested in many projects over the years. And some of the questions that I have are things like, why did this filmmaker choose this project? Right? Because I feel like I need to know the backstory. Right. Anytime I'm writing a check, I want to really understand. And, again, I want to remind people, we usually are not investing in the project. We're really investing in the person who's creating the project. We have to trust and believe that they can do the things that they say they're going to do, that their numbers are accurate, what they're projecting that they're going to make, that's true. And then, I'm more interested too in finding out what winning as we describe it looks like for a filmmaker. Because, what do you mean by that? Well, because if I'm looking to get back, $100,000.
How much you put in?
And let's say I put in $10,000.
Okay.
And I'm looking to get back $100,000, whatever it is based on the equity. And the filmmaker is only planning to really make $50,000 based on what he knows, his connections, that kind of thing. Then that really is an issue. Right. Right? Because then my winning and his winning, or her, is not the same. So I think that really is important. And then the history. How successful has this person been? Are they responsible? Do they follow through on the things they say they're going to do? All of these things come into play. And so people think your history doesn't matter. It does. And your reputation. And now that everything's on social media, it's kind of easy to see what people have been doing and not doing. So I think that is some of the information and misconception and ideas that I wanted to share, because everybody talks about these angel investors, but they don't really understand. These people usually are taking a piece of your company. Right.
So like when you said like the misconception and stuff, do people realize that if they have a little bit of interest, they're going to research the heck out of you?
Of course.
Because I feel like a lot of people don't know, because I know you look me up like crazy and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm lucky I was good enough to pass the mustard. But, what a lot of people don't understand, like they get the angel investors, and you said something. they're like, oh, I got an angel investor, or I got an investor, or whatever, and they don't realize that, okay, they look at it like, okay, they invested the money on you, but also think about, like you said, they're taking a part of it, right? And a lot of people say, oh, I got the money, I just got to pay him back his money, or I don't have to pay him back the money. I've heard a lot of people say, like, oh, I got somebody investing in me, and they look like they don't have to pay that. They think they don't have to pay that money back. And I think that's a misconception.
Right, because the angel investor can't continue to invest in other people's project if they're not making any of that money back. And really, when you look at, for example, the easiest example I could think of is Shark Tank, right? Those are angel investors. They give you money, but they take a portion of
they're going to take a portion.
Right,
yeah.
right. They take equity in your company or in your project, whatever it is.
Is it two type of people that invest? Because some people invest and they don't want a part of a company. Some use it for their own platform, as that's going to help them move their own business around. Also, some people use it as, give me my money back, because they believe in what you're doing. And then some is like, I'm going to take a part of your company, and we're going to do this or whatever and stuff like that. Am I wrong thinking that way?
I think that whenever you have the word investor in any type of title, you're talking money.
Right.
And ultimately, they want their money back at bare minimum, but everybody wants to make a profit.
It's like a bank.
Yeah, basically.
And we just happen to have a banker here tonight.
Right. There's a banker in the house.
He ready to. You saw him stand up.
We came prepared.
But I think there's a lot of misconception on that. People literally thinks that they invest in, they don't have to pay that money back. Yeah. And a lot of people also look at it as
free money.
Free money.
There is no such thing as free money.
And they look at it, you don't have to account for what you use their money on.
Right.
Because I've seen where like, oh, just give me this amount or whatever. No, what are you using each amount for? Yeah. How important is them to give you like a spreadsheet or letting you know how much money you're spending on each thing? Because people just don't think about that. The
whole idea of having equity is really having ownership in someone else's project or company or whatever it is. So there is a high level of accountability from the person who took the money.
Yeah.
So that comes with the territory.
Yeah, I just see it all the time, especially like, like for me, like if I'm managing somebody, they was like, oh, I need this money for. I'm like, I'm not an investor. I'm a manager. You're supposed to be paying me. And that's the misconception. Like, there's a lot of directors and movie people or whatever, and they got these managers, and they think that they're investors. And then when you say angel investors, a lot of people connect it to social network, the Mark Zuckerberg story and stuff. That's the only time people really actually seen that. Before Shark Tank, people started really watching Shark Tank.
Right. Because
I watched Shark Tank and also The Profit. And you learn a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff you have to know.
Yes.
I didn't think that.
Well, that's why so many businesses fail in the first 2 years, because there's a lot of things you have to get right to be able to succeed. There's a lot of things that have to just be done properly.
I will say with you, I've seen it firsthand, because you made some mistakes.
Oh my God, have I made mistakes?
Oh my God, you made some mistakes, but luckily you was ready for just in case something happened.
Yes.
Because that heat thing was funny.
Yes. What heat thing?
Remember, there was no heat.
Oh, yes. Yes. I had a movie theater with no heat. Yeah.
That was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
And I had a flood. I've only been there a year and a half.
Oh, that's right. The flood. I forgot about the flood.
I've had no heat. I've had all kinds of issues. But
here's the thing. First thing, nobody's perfect.
Sure.
And a lot of people look at Emlyn.
But you got to plan for those things. That's the key. It's sort of like you have to have savings for when something happens that you're not expecting in your personal life. It's the same thing with business.
Right. And that's the one thing, like, people's like, oh, this person is perfect. Somebody who I always think is perfect, things happen.
There's no such thing.
But also at the same time and stuff, I watch you, when whatever hits you in the face, you're like, I got this. Let me fix this. Everything got to be fixed. And
I'm a
that's
solution oriented.
Yes. You're very
I'm
good at that.
Everything has to have a solution in my world anyway.
Yeah, it's always been
So
like that. You're
I
very
wanted
good.
to share some.
Clearly, I talk too long. Go ahead.
No, did I say that? No. So I wanted to share with people because people are like, well, where do I find angel investors?
Oh yeah, let me write this down.
Yeah. Right. I think we're going to have to put this in the notes at some place.
Yes.
But there's a couple actually right here in New York that you may not know about. So I called a couple of friends and put together a list to help people find angel investors.
Okay.
So there's one called the New York Angels, right? And it's one of the most active angel groups in the world. They have over $95 million invested in over 100 active members. So that's New York Angels. And a lot of these you can Google and find them, and they all have contact information. Are you actually taking a photo of the list? 37 Angels, that's another group. I love this group. No offense to anyone, but it's a community of more than 50 female investors. And they focus on early stage investments. They generally invest anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000. They do about 10 to 12 startups a year. 37 Angels, guys. Look them up. Then we have Empire Angels. And this is an interesting group because Empire Angels is one of the youngest investor groups around. And they're basically teaching millennials how to become successful. So they invest in companies that are founded by a lot of younger type of investors and business owners. And, of course, there's Harvard Business School. Did you know that they have an investor group?
I never heard that.
Yes, Harvard Business School has Angels of Greater New York. They're actually located in New York. And so you don't have to have graduated or be an alumni from Harvard Business School to be able to get money from them. They have over 250 members here in New York, and they have invested over $4 million in about 30 companies.
Okay.
So if you have any friends that graduated from Harvard Business School, they definitely have a group. They're easy to find, and again, you don't have to be an alumni.
Okay.
And they invest in a bunch of stuff, tech companies, but they also do like independent projects. They have a lot of stuff they invest in. And then there's the Jumpstart Angel Network. That's in New Jersey. For those of you who live in New Jersey, so it's a New Jersey-based company. They tend to invest in projects that are happening in New Jersey. So if you approach them, you have to have some type of New Jersey benefited type project, something or a business that you're opening in New Jersey or a film that you're shooting in New Jersey that benefits New Jersey, because they're all about that. Okay. And they've invested about $35 million, and they started in 2004. Okay. Then we have Golden Seeds. So Golden Seeds, yeah, I'm sure you've heard of them. No. It's 250 angel investors that invest in women-led businesses. And I didn't deliberately pick these out, but these are the ones that I'm more familiar with.
Yeah, I'm noticing the trend here.
Yeah, so they invest in companies that are headed up by C-level women. Okay. And I think their last round of investment was like $5 million. And then there's the Archangel Fund.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, so they have a combined group of like an angel investor with a venture capital type situation group. And so they pool their monies together in like a pool situation. Okay. And that's how they invest. And sometimes that's a good thing or a bad thing because then everybody sort of has to be on board. So that can be a little more tricky to get the money. But and then of course there's the Long Island Angel Network. Yeah, Long Island. And they do basically early stage companies that are registered in Long Island. Okay. Yep. And Soundboard Angel Fund, they have a lot of mentorship opportunities. So if you just want to understand how angel investors work or you want to be around the group, Soundboard Angel Fund has a great mentorship program for people. So that was my story on angel investors. And
I want that paper.
You what?
I want to take that home.
I know you want to take the list. I have to email it to you.
Oh.
I will email it to you for sure. So can I see if people have questions or no?
I can do it for you.
Can I? I don't know. I see people on here, but I'm not. Okay. Yeah.
I got to turn it around, people.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so.
Oof, a lot of people.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
We want a lot of people. So, all right. I'm going to move on.
Go ahead. Talking to Mike.
So, when I first opened the theater, there was a lot of talk about how the movie theater industry was disappearing, how movie theaters were going bankrupt, how only the major movie theaters was going to be around. And I read a really feel-good article this week that inspired me, because I am a small movie theater and I opened in the middle of like chaos that's happening with the movie industry in terms of theatrical distribution and things like that. Mm-hmm. But there's this guy, I hope he's watching. His name is Craig Smith. He took a firehouse in Kensington, Washington, and converted it to a movie theater with his own money. And he was operating it all by himself. And the town only has like 2,000 people. And he's used his life savings for this movie theater. And the problem was that he was doing 35 millimeter film, but then Hollywood went digital. And so now he had to spend all this money to go digital. Mm-hmm. And so it basically tapped him out. So he was ready to close because he had no more money. But the town got together and did a GoFundMe campaign. And the last I saw, they raised $181,000 in donations to keep this little movie theater in a firehouse open. Nice. And so I felt inspired because people still like those small movie theaters where everybody knows your name kind of thing. Remember Cheers, where everybody knows your name?
Cheers.
Yeah. So I think people still really, really like that. And I think also the bigger theaters have their benefits.
Right.
I certainly think there's a market for it. But I think that the smaller movie theaters definitely are here to stay.
One question.
Yes.
Ralph, I'm not going to say your name wrong again, so because you heard me messing it up.
Okay.
Real quick, it goes back to what we was talking about. But his question was, do any of these angel investors invest in movie production companies?
They do. They do. Especially if you have the standards, right? Names attached. If you have distribution. So yes, angel investors invest in movie projects.
They really invest in anything.
All
just
the
got to pick
time.
their interest.
Yeah. That's why you have to research the different groups, and I'll have to put the list somewhere. But you should find someone that has interest, that has already invested in a movie and hopefully has made money, because otherwise they may not want to do it again.
That's a good thing.
Because movies are really, really risky investment. And most, or I wouldn't want to say most, but a lot of independent filmmakers aren't really ready for the risk and the responsibility that comes with the money.
Right.
So, yeah.
Definitely. Thank you, Ralph.
Yes.
And forgive me for
I hope
messing
that
your name
answers
up.
your question.
Forgive me for messing your name up earlier.
Yeah. So I was inspired because this whole talk about, small movie theaters disappearing.
And that was the reason why you opened yours, or?
Well, no, I just wanted filmmakers to have a place with 4K projection and surround sound and seats and a stage and a place to eat. And I wanted a community space that people could use. So I really opened it for different reasons, but it's still sort of community based. Like that was at the heart of what I was trying to do.
It's still a dope theater, but kind of got out of hand,
Yeah.
But,
it has blown up. So
yes.
I'm trying to manage that. And we have great things coming, so we are
definitely.
We are expanding, so that's exciting.
Salute to Stuart Cinema Cafe.
Yeah.
All right.
So yes, moving right along. So if anyone is interested in opening your own movie theater, by all means do it, because they are not dying and people are still making money with the small movie theaters. Okay, why are you laughing? I'm trying to concentrate.
Hey, people do not know that. It's on you.
Oh, well.
Everything is on you right now.
So then if I start laughing, they're going to be like, what's so funny?
What?
I was going to say one thing, because it reminded me of, I was watching Dolomite on Netflix, and how they used to go to individual small houses to promote their movie. But do you see that in the age where people are, focusing more on social media to get that message out, do you find that that's an opportunity for your venue to expand?
Yes, actually, that's one of the things. That's one of the things I was going to talk about, is the types of distribution, because people think theatrical distribution is theatrical distribution, but within theatrical distribution, there are so many different types, and we're going to talk about. Oh, you think I tell you everything? So we're going to So I wanted to talk about Parasite. Kudos to Parasite. They won the Oscar.
Oh,
hello,
the movie.
Yes.
I thought it was something else.
I don't know what you're thinking. Yes, yes. So they won Best Picture, Best International Film, which used to be called Best Foreign Film. And so there's a lot of talk about and whether people agree or not, whether this film should have won. I saw it. I'm showing it at my theater. We're showing the colored version. We may show the black and white later in the week. But we've had a lot of people come and see it, and I think for the most part, people loved it because it's got a lot of twists and turns. And it's about a poor family and a rich family, and I think there's so many relatable parts of this film that we could all relate to, which I think is part of the success.
I'm on the poor side.
Yeah, but in getting the film for the theater, along with some other films, I spoke to the distributor, Neon. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about Neon, because I think people don't really know them because they're new. Right. So Neon is a distribution company. And so they are basically babies. They haven't been around that long. They are here in New York. So Neon, the distribution company for you filmmakers, is located here in New York, and they're pretty easy to find. And so basically it's a company that has 28 people. You would think they're this huge conglomerate, but they got 28 people, and they were founded 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
So imagine their film won an Oscar. Yeah. And it beat out Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? I thought that was I thought that was going to win. 1917. It even beat out Netflix, The Irishman.
The Irishman is like the Titanic. It's long.
That's all. Every time I bring up that movie, that's what you say. You're like, it's so long.
It's long. It was good though. It was good.
Yeah. So besides winning the Oscar, the film has already the last numbers I saw, it's grossed $35 million, and that's just domestic, right? And it cost $11 million to make. So they are making money.
Talking to Mike.
Yes, they are making money.
There we go.
And they did films like The Three Identical Strangers, which I showed, which was like the three brothers who were separated. Yeah, you don't know.
I didn't see
But
it.
anyway, it's called The Three Identical Strangers. They did I, Tonya. They did Apollo 11. So they've done a lot of great films. Yeah. So they're hitting it out of the park. Now they've got to live up to this new.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah, new expectation. And so, but they used a very special approach for the film. Like, so they originally did only a few theaters when they released the movie. And I think they may have done art houses like mine, small theaters. And I think they did that to test the market and get the ball rolling. So they didn't come out the gate with a huge theatrical distribution. They went 2-3 theaters, a few theaters in New York, and the big markets in New York and LA, and that's usually where films first premiere. And so it is exciting that doing it their own way, they've had all of this success. Their next movie that we are thinking about also showing at the theater is Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Another film that promises to be great. I don't know if it'll be as good as Parasite. But Neon is looking for projects. They're looking for great projects that are sort of niche type films. And they're betting all of their money on the edgy content that appeals to 25 and under crowd.
Right.
And so at a time when a lot of indie cinemas supposedly are struggling, this is really a great sort of win for the independent theaters, for the small movie houses. It's a win for all of us, I feel like.
Definitely.
And so, yeah, they're gonna build on this win. Again, the company is Neon. They're 2.5 years old. They are going to, and they're going to.
You didn't hear what I said, did you?
Yes, I didn't hear what you said.
Neon.
Neon, yes.
Okay,
Neon, yes. And so they also did Clemency, which I'm showing at my theater with Alfred Woodard. Yeah, and that's doing well. They did Amazing Grace.
What's her last name?
Woodard.
There you go.
No relation to you?
Not yet.
Yes. So for me, I feel like that was a big win.
Definitely.
For us. And so I wanted to talk about the different types of distribution because I think that filmmakers aren't clear on what that is. And so then when they talk to the distributing company and the distributor says, oh, we're not going to do major theatrical distribution, the filmmaker feels like, oh, well, then my film's not going to be seen everywhere. Right. And there's different tiers. They can start off with just 2 or 4 theaters and then go from there. But major theatrical is considered 650 theaters or more. Sheesh. And now they're straight to video, straight to the internet, which is distributing your film. For the theater, no. Okay. It's 650 actually, movie theaters.
Okay.
So yeah, that doesn't count. Yeah. So does anybody have any questions? Because I feel like I'm moving very, very quickly.
I do have a question, but it was not on this because I just thought about it now. You pretty much answered the questions that I had written down for myself.
Yeah.
But you pretty much answered it.
Good. That means I'm doing that. That's great. If I answered your question, and that's good.
And Bangle hit the part about I wasn't going to use Dolomite. I was thinking of Robert Townsend.
Oh yeah. I always think about that because I was a filmmaker. I have a degree in film.
So you.
Oh yeah, that's right. He got a degree. Believe that. Mm-hmm. And he a banker.
And so I think about when independent filmmakers are looking for venues to distribute their films. I see like Amazon does a lot of distribution now, more so than Netflix.
Yeah, some people are going straight to Amazon.
Right, but I always wondered, do they make money as a filmmaker? Some of them are really small budgets, and they leverage a lot of their friends and people, their personal networks. But as an independent filmmaker, do they expect to make a profit, or do the first couple films that they make, is that more for exposure?
I think every filmmaker expects to make money by default, because if people are watching your content, ideally you're supposed to make money. I think Amazon is not everybody's first choice. A lot of filmmakers are adding it themselves, so it's not like Amazon is picking it up per se. And so I am yet to see anyone who has a film that they themselves put on Amazon Prime making all of their money back plus profit.
Okay.
It's a very it's a slow process.
Right. Because we have a question that came in and cotton candy.
Oh, hey, honey.
Cotton candy. No, but the question is, how do you feel about streaming networks like Amazon Prime and Netflix? Are both platforms a win-win?
I think that when you create a project, you want people to see it.
Right.
And if you don't get theatrical distribution, if you're not going to self-distribute, which means you're renting theaters, you're going around, touring your film, and you have no other offers, I think that is a good option. Because a lot of people, if they don't get a deal, then those movies never get seen. They go on their YouTube channel, but nobody really knows. And then it's limited to whoever you know.
Right.
So
okay. I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad she asked that question, because a lot of people don't know that how easy it is to get this stuff on Amazon or how easy it is to get on Netflix. It's a process that you have to go. A lot of people, once they get it up there, they think that Amazon is going to promote it and this and that and stuff. What can we tell these filmmakers if they're going to go that route, besides coming to you and showing it live at your theater?
You have to have an audience. You have to already go in with an audience, or you have to have a plan to grow that audience. Because otherwise, if Amazon is not promoting it, how will people find it? There's so many films on there. Okay, well, let's use DJ Bango, for example. Yes. He's a filmmaker. I'm assuming his is going to be a documentary on DJs. Okay. He got a somewhat okay fan base when it comes to the movies, because I haven't seen anything he's doing. Now, DJ-wise, he got a big fan base. Okay. But we're going to ignore that part. He gets it on Amazon Prime. What would be the plan to get people to watch his video or his movie or whatever? He would have to promote it. He'd have to take out ads, whether that's Facebook ads or however he's doing it. He may want to partner up with someone who has big following. He may want to use an influencer to try to help. Okay. And that's money well spent if you're going to get it back at the end. But yeah, it's difficult. But if the option is to have it nowhere, right, it makes sense. Right.
See, I was thinking of I watch a lot of YouTube. So there's a content promoter. His name is Jahan, and he does this thing called I think it's called Hitting That. But they've been talking about getting funds to make a full length movie. But I know that people probably come up to you as an independent theater owner. Do they come up to you and ask you what kind of content that you look for, or in order to, put that film in your theater?
So that's one of the things that makes Stuart Cinema different. So if you are a filmmaker and you feel like your movie should be in a theater, then you put it in my theater. There you go. I don't get to decide if your movie should be in the theater. You rent the space and you show your film. You do a week, you do 3 days, you do one showing, you do whatever you can. I want you to make money while you're doing it. And that's why I built the space, because I don't think that there should be one person somewhere who gets to decide that your film should not be in a theater. Right. Well, you don't know my audience. You don't know the content. You shouldn't be able to make that decision. But I understand that the way politics work, and it's business, there's all these checks and balances, and there's someone who makes that decision in all these different places. But I wanted to remove that aspect of the business. So if you have a great film and you think it should be in theaters, then you can put it in my theater. It will play along with Parasite, Clemency, Avengers, Joker, whatever's playing. Now, I remember when we was talking about, when you was thinking about opening this and the process of what you wanted to do. Yeah. And one thing that was very important, you wanted just for the filmmaker. That was your whole plan for the start. Yeah. Now, something I didn't know when you explained to me, when people get their film like in a major movie theater or like whatever and stuff, they paying like $4,000 or $5,000. Yeah. The average movie theater, like if you're doing AMC or Regal, is about $3,000, maybe more, depending. And just to show it one time. Yeah. That was interesting to me when you said that. Yes, and you have to convert your film usually to DCP if they don't show Blu-ray or if they don't do MP4. Right. So there's a lot of expenses, and if you only have 100 seats, you'd have to charge somebody $50 to watch a movie they've never heard of. Right. To make something.
Exactly.
Not even like to make a lot of money, but to make something.
Right.
And the way we set up the theater at Stuart Cinema is that every time you screen, if you sell out, you're going to make money.
Right. And you get none of that money.
Nope. I get a rental fee, and that includes the projectionist. So you pay one fee. You handle your own ticket sales. So it's not even, because, you know, when I had the festival at certain theaters, they would take all the money from the ticket sales.
Oh, yeah.
And then they would take out all these fees. And then at the end, they would cut me a check, which never seemed to add up.
Yeah.
But it was after the fact. So I always had all these...
I remember.
I always had all these issues. And so when they take your money, they can say or do what they want. And so we don't do that. You control your own money, your own ticket sales.
And I would suggest everybody, please contact Emily Stuart if you have a project out there. The fee is very, very, very low. I'm not going to say it on here, but
because it's set up for you to make money. If the fee is too high, then you're not able to.
It's more than reasonable. I remember I told you I think it should be a lot higher, but the thing is,
everybody who can afford it says that.
You know I can't afford it.
Everybody who can afford it says the fee's too low.
Not me, but I understand. Well, once you built it, and I remember when we walked in there and it was just the walls, and then we came back and stuff, and it was like, they did some business here. So.
I just did the floors this weekend. Again, the cafe floors. It looks so pretty in there.
And one thing she just released out just recently, last month she released that she does catering.
Yes. So here's another issue that filmmakers have, that they cannot afford to feed everyone on set, the cast and crew. It's a lot of money. If you're shooting a short film and it's 3 days or whatever it is, that adds up, and people don't want to eat pizza. So we started a catering service. So you basically just give the menu to your cast and crew. People order what they want, and then you just come and pick it up. And it's under $12 a person.
Yes.
And in some cases, under $10 a person. That will allow you to shoot that film and stay within budget if you don't have a lot of money.
And there it is. Yep. And it's the truth and stuff. And the food already there is good anyway, but still.
Yeah.
Get it catered and everything.
Yep.
Emily would go above and beyond the Call of Duty all the time. I'll be like, really? But she goes above and beyond the Call of Duty.
I love the filmmakers, and I love the community.
Yeah, you definitely do your thing. So definitely, let's see, shout out to Steven Strickland. He's on here.
I owe him a phone call.
Emily owes everybody a phone call.
I'm actually looking for an intern to be my right hand, sort of my assistant.
How long the theater's been open?
A year and a half.
Okay. How long we been talking about the intern?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely.
Yes, you definitely do.
Definitely need some help.
Shout out to Jeff Smith is tuned in.
Yeah.
Of course, Cotton Candy's still asking questions and stuff. So she mentioned she says so many apps for smart TVs.
Yeah.
I guess it's a buzz versus profit situation, and your theater can solve all of those in both ways and stuff, which is true.
Yeah.
And people don't understand because there's so many big things that go on in your theater. They don't understand. Some people look at it like, and I've heard this before. I don't know if I told you about it, but I heard this before when people's like, oh, I can't do nothing there because it's so expensive. Well, because the major things that you have happening, like even after when you had Tommy there from Power, and I was lucky to interview. Anyway, when you had Tommy there, and a lot of people was like, wow, Power's here, Stars is here, Hennessy's here, and a lot of people kind of backed off and stuff, and they're not realizing. I went on to a preach situation where not realizing just because they're there doesn't mean you can't get on for the price that you can afford.
Right.
So that's why I always tell everybody.
Don't be misled by all the celebrities you see using our space. But I do need to develop some type of sliding scale. I'm working on that for 2021 because they are getting over like fat rats for sure.
Who?
The people who can afford to have their stuff in other places. Yeah. But I'm happy to have them. I'm glad billions have used our space. Orange is the New Black was there, and Ray Donovan.
Ray, I remember they shut down the whole back way just to film them.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of celebrities using the space, and I'm grateful, and a lot of companies. tech companies.
They come in and have their meetings and stuff like that, PowerPoints and stuff.
Yeah, and streaming services, a lot of distributions and production companies are using the space. So.
And one thing nobody can say, even though it's for the filmmaker, you have and so many things happens at your theater.
Yes.
People gotta know that the filmmakers come first.
Absolutely.
And if you just have a simple conversation,
keep
calling her. I'm gonna tell you.
Call Carl. Call CJ.
And at your own risk. But if you call Emlyn, call again. Don't badger her. Yeah. Leave messages. Famous people go through the same thing.
That's true. Equal opportunity.
I have sat there and listened like I've been trying to call you. Can I name that one person? We were sitting there. Homeboy said, I've been trying to call her or whatever.
Who was that?
Leon.
Oh, yeah. Leon, shout out to you, Robinson. 5 heartbeats. Sorry, I have to call you. Yes.
You still ain't called him?
No, I haven't called him yet. I meant to send him your photos. I have to do that.
You still have...
See why? I need somebody. For
sure. Damn.
Yes, I need someone.
I want to finish this on a good note. We got to say something else.
Well, listen. So I wanted to talk about the sort of maybe coming strike. The writers. Their contract ends May 1st, so there's the possibility that the writers may go on strike. And the networks are getting ready for that this time, because last time they were not ready. And so they're stockpiling scripts and stuff so that they're ready in case the writers do go on strike. And I'm assuming that if they do, it's going to be about the streaming services, because they write and their shows are on these streaming services, about the back end pay being reduced or limited or eliminated, for writers. And so it's tough. We'll see what happens.
Right.
But, I think it's hard for the writers, because the writers are being asked to write a whole bunch of stuff in the event that there's a strike, which is really not fair to them, because they're really helping the studio.
Right.
But at the same time, they want to keep the actors working.
Exactly.
And if there's no script, then the actors can't work. And I spoke to a showrunner the other day who felt like she was kind of, stuck between a rock and a hard place, because she feels for the writers, but, she also works for the studio. So hopefully it won't come to that. But the studios and the major networks are getting ready.
There you go.
So, So if you're a writer, you're probably writing more than you have. And I guess at this point they can't say no. So
there you go.
That's tough. So we'll see what happens. I'm following the story. I've been talking to some of the writers at networks and some of the showrunners, and that's going to be interesting. See what happens. I'm hoping that there is no strike and that everybody's happy and that we work something out, because I do get that it's complicated now with all the streaming services and the writers not getting the money that they're used to.
Right.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Okay.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about was...
my bad.
Were you ready to cut me off?
I thought that was the last thing. I literally thought that was the last thing, because I'm looking at your paper.
No. So...
Sorry, Bango.
Yeah, right. So I wanted to talk to the music people a little bit. So I was talking to the people at Indie Spotify Bible. Mm-hmm. And they've put together a list of categories in the music, and they have this Bible that they've put together, and we're getting a copy of it next month.
Okay.
And basically, it has all of the curators for the playlists on Spotify.
Really?
And so now you'll be able to listen to DJs.
I know,
yes,
right?
Yes. And so now music people will be able to get this Bible, or they can come to the cafe and look at it. I hope they're not listening, the people who are putting it together. But we're going to have a copy in the cafe. And basically, it'll give you all of the contact information for the curators of all the playlists on Spotify. So you'll be able to contact them directly to put your music on their playlist that's already playing.
Okay, being that you said that, how would an artist, what would be the correct way to try to get your music on a curator's playlist and stuff? Because some people just send it.
So if you just send it, or if you just put your own music up there, chances are if you don't have an audience, not much is going to happen with it.
Right.
So you really need to get on a playlist of somebody who has a busy rotation.
Right.
And that's what the Bible is going to do. It's going to show us how to get your music streaming on Spotify, how to customize your Spotify artist profile, because apparently we're not doing that correctly.
Okay.
And how to properly contact the playlist curators, and what to do and what not to do, because apparently there's a lot of stuff that
they don't like.
Yeah, and that we don't know. So
Right.
we don't know, and this is why the Bible that they're putting together is important, which is why we're willing to pay for it, because we feel like music artists need this information. And how other do-it-yourself artists have found new fans, because finding new fans is hard.
Yeah.
The existing fan is fine. They're following you. But how do you grow? How do you get new fans? And how do you stand out? So we're going to get the Indie Bible, and it will be at the theater. We'll have it next month, and people can come by and take a look. Or get one themselves if they'd like. But if they can't afford it, or just kind of want to take a look before they buy,
come to the theater, get you some
check
lemonade,
get some
and
coffee.
some popcorn or coffee,
yes,
or hot chocolate.
Yes. We also have an October Film Festival discount code for all the listeners. So the discount code is going to be Industry News 2020. One word, Industry News 2020. And you'll get 10% off your submission to October Film Fest, which is open right now.
Oh.
Yep. So, are you yawning?
No,
you
no.
can't be yawning in the middle of
No, I wasn't yawning. I wasn't yawning. Bango had a question. I wasn't yawning.
No, I was going to say, especially with Spotify, since the demographics for Spotify is typically younger.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm really surprised at, because I DJ a lot of the Sweet 16s and school events, is that they don't promote clean versions of songs. And what that has caused is that a lot of record pools and a lot of places, outlets that have music, they no longer have clean versions of the songs, because Spotify and these other streaming services don't play clean versions. So they know their demographic is typically a younger demographic, and if they're playing like the trap and the hip hop and even pop, I'm really surprised. Pop music has gotten a lot dirtier than it used to be, and if these curators are out there, they have influence to promote a cleaner version of the song, which would then promote that, the availability of the clean version out there. Because it used to be industry standard back in the 90s to have a dirty version and a clean version. But now, since most people use streaming services, there's only one version of the song because they want to have a high stream count. So they just put out the dirty version.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I thought when I go on Spotify, I see that you can do like the explicit or like, but I could see where you don't want to have two versions of the song, because then your fan base is divided.
Well, the fan base is like 18 to like 25 right now.
Is it really?
I think it's younger.
We use it for church.
Yeah, I
we
think
use it for Carl listens to Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
But if you everything.
I mean, one of the biggest playlists is Rap Caviar, and Rap Caviar has a couple million people who follow it. And
what's the age group for that?
It's probably like 13 to maybe 25.
Oh wow! Okay.
So if you know your fan base is a good portion of it is minors, and you're playing a very explicit version, and if I know these songs and they're like, like I can't even
heard
play
one the other day. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I did a Sweet 16 last month, I think it was. It was I did the photo booth or whatever, and the DJ was in there playing some very nasty music.
They played up curses?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And I'm sitting there, and the parents are sitting there dancing, singing with them.
Yeah.
I was like, I would knock my daughters out.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, though, it's very hard to monitor what kids are listening to.
They're going to listen to it.
Because they have those AirPods on,
true.
and there's no real way.
That's true.
Unless Spotify can do it based on age, it's hard.
They can. They have all. I mean, between
can,
the algorithms and
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
the information of the people who are logging in.
Yeah.
They can automatically feed a.
But that's a
edited
very
version.
good point, actually.
I mean, it's kind of hard because, like, I did the Sweet 16, and I was just totally shocked. And my guy didn't DJ Big Mark. He didn't DJ. And we was both sitting there with our mouths open, like, it was a young kid that was DJing, but he played every nasty, I can't pronounce, explicit? Oh, yeah, there we go. Every single one of them, two straight, I mean, not cutting it down. And I was like, wow, and it was this girl's Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And it was like, seemed like half the high school was in there.
Yeah.
And the parents saying that's, and with some
But
of
we
us,
still have to be responsible.
Yeah.
For
yes,
that.
and
I mean, but
If you could visit
us,
if you could visit a website and they know what you looked at, and every time you go on Facebook or any other site and they start showing you ads
right.
about it.
But they use that information for what they want.
Right.
Right.
So they could do the
stuff
same
that we
thing.
need them to.
Of course.
Right, but they figure the kids may not listen if it's a clean version, and so they don't want to lose the eyeballs, which then is how they pay their bills.
Right.
So that's tough.
All right, let's go back real quick about the October Film Festival. You mentioned about the code for the October Film Festival, industry news 2020, right? Mm-hmm. I'm being asked, is it capital, all caps, or all lowercase?
So it's industry, capital I, news, capital N, all one word, 2020.
All right, got that, Stephen?
All right. We're already getting a bunch of submissions. And, I was
sure.
talking to someone who's helping with the branding with all of my brands. Mm-hmm. And we're just trying to figure out, she asked me like a really deep question this week. She was like, so what do you want to happen with October Film Festival? And there's a part of me that wants to keep it small, because I want people to be able to network, and I want to be able to know every filmmaker, and I want to know their film. And that's, I'm one of the few film festival owners that's at the festival from the minute it opens until it closes.
Every day.
Every day. I'm the first one there, and I'm the last one to leave.
That's why I go the first one and the last one.
And I'm 100% invested, not so much in the projects, but in the people. And I want to make sure that people are connecting, because I go to networking events all the time. They're called networking events, but there's no network happening.
Only use networking.
Right. I'm working the room because that's what I do. Mm-hmm. But I am just amazed at all of these events called networking events where people not networking. People from October Film Festival are working together. They know each other. End up
working with each other later on down the line.
They work with each other. And I'm just so happy to see that, because that's the point.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, yes.
So there you go. Stuart Cinema. Stuart Cinema Cafe Industry News.
Yes.
I wanted to say.
So I wanted to leave everybody with one last note, because I get this question a lot. I just had an interview from Real Effect this week. It's an online magazine, and she asked me a lot of very pointed questions. And then I also had an interview with a Korean TV station. They have like a 60-minute show in Korea. No, I spoke English. They're gonna put subtitles.
Okay.
But they came to ask me about Parasite, about the movie, and what did I think, and what the audience thought. And I thought of all the movie theaters that are showing this movie, like, why did they pick me? Like, I thought it was a joke. But then when the cameras showed up, I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Well,
so it was real. But anyway, I always get this question about, because I'm just started the catering business, mm-hmm. and we're in talks to expand this summer, part of Stuart Cinema, and there's a bunch of other things happening.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I also have to shout out to the Black News Channel. They are launching. Yes, you missed the launch party.
Some of us got to work.
Yeah. So it was great. It was at the National Action Network.
Mm-hmm. It was on a Tuesday.
Yes.
What was I on Tuesday?
That's right. You were on the radio show. But I got lots of great info for you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, I'm excited because they're not going to be just a news channel. They're going to have lots of content.
I read it.
So I am excited because it's going to present a lot of opportunity for filmmakers.
Oh, definitely.
Because they have to fill 24 hours, 7 days a week of content. So, and they have funding, which is great. Right? Because if they had to fill that time and they had no money, you know, that would be a different story, because we've seen a lot of startups, right? And a lot of channels that have launched on Roku and all these places, and they don't have the funding, so they can't pay for content, and they want the filmmakers to give up their content for free. So I'm excited that they have a budget, that Spectrum is behind them.
Yep.
So I want to say, I can't be quoted, but I think it's channel 232 they're going to be on Spectrum.
People, please research this company.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been reading about it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me, they're coming in hard and
Dr.
serious.
Ben Chavis is behind
And
it.
you know that's my man right
Oh my
there,
God,
boy.
he
You
gave
know.
such a speech. He was
I'm
like,
so mad I couldn't go to that.
He basically looked out in the crowd and he was like, "You people need to man up." And we were like, yes, we hear you. Yeah, so I just wanted to leave everybody tonight with a personal note.
Go ahead.
So people keep asking, you know, is what is my intention? Where am I headed with all this? And definitely, I think for me, I really got tired of navigating the entertainment power players and the industry as a whole. And so I decided I just want to create my own power and my own system. So that we no longer have to navigate all of these people, and these gatekeepers are out of control. And so that and the people who are joining me, because I'm not alone. There's a lot of people in this effort in a lot of ways. Silicon Harlem is doing their own thing,
that's my
so
man
that
right
the
there.
tech people,
Yep.
they're bringing it. So we are, and I know people only see me, but there is a lot of people in different industries and different companies, even distribution companies. That's why I said, if you guys have something, you should reach out to Neon and Bleecker. There's a lot of, I have a list of distribution companies, the smaller ones that take on indie projects.
Yes.
So I definitely want to share that maybe next time I come.
It only takes one.
Yeah. And so, create your own power, you know, and don't wait around.
There it is. That's the word for that.
So,
Create your own power. All right.
Yes.
One last question.
Ah,
I'm asked this.
that last question
No,
always
it's the
gets
last
you,
question.
yes.
This is going to be interesting.
Yes.
And please answer it. And it's no disrespect to anybody over the years and stuff.
Uh-oh.
And then we're going to bring
no.
we're going to bring DJ Bango on and stuff.
I may need you to start playing music right away.
Just answer this. This. Out of all the film festivals you've done, I've been like 5 of them, I think.
We've had 7. This
7.
year will be 8.
I think I've been to 5 and stuff. I think the first one was at the place in Harlem and stuff like that. Which one was your best one?
That depends how you're defining best. How are you defining best? My best film festival.
Oh, that's a good question. The question was for you, though.
Best, because best is different. Like
Right,
my
all right,
best, you know.
All in all and stuff. Because there's 2 of them that sticks out to me. Okay, the one that was in Harlem, for me, I just loved the Love in the Room.
Mist? When we were at Mist, or when we were at Poets Den?
Poets Den.
Okay.
I love that Love in the Room and stuff.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
I love that place,
Yes.
actually. And I love Raphael. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
He's trying to do some stuff.
Yeah, that definitely was like one of the best ones for me. And
Yeah.
also, even though it was kind of hectic or whatever and stuff when you did it at, I mean, there was a lot of negativity going on too, but for some reason it just sticks out to me. And I think it was because of the people that was there. I'm not talking about the organization of the place, but the people. It has to be, was it Symphony 72?
Symphony Space.
Symphony Space?
Yep.
It was
On the
and
Upper West Side.
Yeah, and I will only say because of the people that was there. There was so much love there.
Yeah.
And nobody was acting a fool, you know. Now, other than that, told another story. Different.
You know, I have to say, I think that my best And for me, best is probably where I felt like filmmakers were really, we had great projects. The filmmakers got what they needed. They felt nurtured, validated, all the things why I do the festival. I would have to say it was last year.
Really?
And I got to do everything for free.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that alone for me was massive. And I got a lot of pushback from other film festivals because if I do it free and they don't do it free, it creates issues where the filmmaker maybe thinks that those festivals are taking advantage of them or whatever. But if I didn't have to charge, I didn't see why I should do that. And mostly I did it because I wanted the community that the theater is in to come and watch those movies.
And which they did.
And they did. They did.
Out
they
heavy.
told me that if I did it free, they would show up, and they did.
Yeah,
so
they came out heavy.
So this last year probably, I think, was one of my favorites.
Now, don't get it wrong. Every year, Stephen tripping. Every year, you see it?
Yeah.
Every year has been great.
Yeah.
I would have to say, every year I've had a good time on opening night every single time because it's so much information. You never know who you're going to see. It's so much information that's given.
Yeah.
And I think the one that was at I forgot the place where you did the actors competition.
Are you talking about the opening night at Sofritos?
No. It was not the opening night. It was like during the week as a film festival was going on, you did an acting competition where a guy and a girl did a skit or whatever and stuff.
Oh,
I remember
that was at the Poet Stand.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty cool. I love it. Are you going to do that again?
We've done so many things over the years.
That was really cool.
Yeah,
you know.
Because I wanted, that's the thing, it's very difficult. It's only 4 or 5 days. And now when I do it, I have to close down the theater. So the people who normally come for their food and their movies can't come. So it impacts the community. But hopefully they're coming to
keep talking.
They're coming to watch the independent films.
Okay.
So yeah, but last year was probably my favorite.
Okay, well, everybody has their favorites.
Yeah.
I guess it was Stephen's favorite too.
Good.
Okay, so 2020 October Film Festival is going to be off the hook. I want to thank you for taking the time out. We went longer because she told me it was only going to be 20 minutes. But I know once I get it talking.
I had so much information and I left half of it at my office because I was like, I can't tell everybody everything.
Okay, that's next month. So I want to thank you for taking the time out to come through and give us this great information. I've been preaching
Sign up for our newsletter on the website because that is the best way to find out what's going on because we have like one free screening every month. So definitely sign up for that.
And what's the website?
StuartCinema.com.